All right. Good afternoon, everybody. It's Friday. I hope you're having a good week. Today, I went ahead and I did one or a couple of problems like the ones we would be doing in class if I was making up my own. And it says, after 5 days of homeschooling, Ms. Doherty had to call the mental health service hotline. The hotline charges a one-time fee of $12.95 to set up service and 25 cents per minute per call. So far, Ms. Doherty has spent $21.20. How many minutes has Ms. Doherty talked? So these 5 days of homeschooling have put Ms. Doherty where she needs to call in some mental health help, and we know what they charge. We know how much she spent. So let's see what we know about this problem. So it says, our question is, how many minutes has she talked? So I'm going to highlight that because that's our question. And then we know that there's a one-time fee of $12.95. And we know that it's 25 cents a minute per call. And we know that she spent $21.20. And I want you to see up there it says after 5 days of homeschooling. And this is an example of where they put some numbers in there just to try to fool you. Does it matter how many days of homeschooling she's done? It could be 5 days, it could be 50. That doesn't have anything to do with the minutes of the call or how much it costs to set it up or the total she spent. So that's just some extra that they've put in there just to kind of throw you off. And so we don't really need that. So sometimes they'll put numbers in there and we just tend to want to use all the numbers that are there, but be careful about that and make sure. And besides, we know that with Miss Doherty, it wouldn't matter how many days. And I'm going to have to go get a pen because I left it over here. So y'all are going to get to see some of my kitchen. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and set it up. And so we don't know how many minutes that she talked. So we're going to let M equal minutes. Okay, so M is going to equal the minutes she talked. So that's going to take care of this. But we do know that she spent $21.20. So if she spent that much, that's going to be her total. So I'm going to put equals $21.20. And then the next thing that we know is we know that there's a one-time fee. So she only pays that once. It's not per minute. So we know that she's just going to pay that once. So that's like the initial fee. That's where she starts. So we're going to start with that $12.95. So we're going to add that in there. Then we know that she charges, or they charge 25 cents per minute. And we talked before we left about how that per means that it goes with you're multiplying. And so this is going to be 0.25 M. And so there's my equation because I've now taken care of everything. I have my minutes, I have my variable, I have that she talked, it's 25 cents per minute plus the $12.95 she has to pay for the initial amount, and that's going to equal $21.20. So I'm going to subtract out the $12.95 for the initial cost for Miss Doherty. And that's going to cancel right here. And this is going to leave me with just what her minutes cost her. And so 21.20 minus 12.95. I'm going to have to borrow, so that's going to become a 1. And of course, you'd be doing this with a calculator, but I didn't grab one of those, so I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way. And then 20 minus 12. So she spent $8.25 on her call. So just on the minutes. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by 25 cents. And I'm going to get M is equal to. And if you were to divide $8.25 by 25 cents, you would get 33. And so I think that she talked for 33 minutes. So if I do 33 times 25 cents, I know that 4 quarters make up $1. So I have 8 sets of 4 and 33, so that would give me $8 with 1 quarter left over, so $8.25 plus my $12.95 would bring me back to $21.20. So I would put Miss D talked for 33 minutes. Okay? And so we solved that one. She's been on there for 33 minutes. Okay? So that is our first one for today. On our second one, it's about Coach Wright and Coach Swallow. And it says, to make extra money during our break, Coach Wright and Coach Swallow are taking people on overnight deep-sea fishing trips. Coach Wright charges $600 per trip and $70 per person. Coach Swallow charges $800 per trip and $90 per person. And I didn't write my question. And my question wants to know how many people would they have to bring for their cost to be equal, for them to be equal. So I want them to be equal. Okay, sorry about that. So I want to know how many people are going to make them equal. Okay. And this is what I know. I know that Coach Wright charges them $600 straight off the bat, for fuel and snacks and things like that. Then he charges $70 per person. And I know that Coach Swallow charges $800 just straight off the bat and $50 per person. Okay. So I want to know how many people, so I'm going to let P equal people. And what I want to know is, I want to know when will Coach Wright be equal to Coach Swallow. So we're going to look at them separately. This is what I know about Coach Wright. I know that this one's a little bit different because it's not going to be equal to a number like they have been being. This one we're going to have two different equations equal to each other, so they're going to be variables on both sides. So this is what I know. I know that Coach Wright he charges $600. Then he charges and $70 per person, so that's going to be plus $70 per person. So that's Coach Wright. And I want to know when that's going to equal Coach Swallow, who charges $800 for the trip, plus $50 per person. Okay, so this is looking like those ones with variables on both sides like we did last week. So I'm going to go ahead, and the first thing I move, I don't have any distributed property. I don't have anything I can combine, so I'm going to move my variable first. And so I'm going to take Coach Wright's plus 50p, and I'm going to subtract it to get rid of it. Okay. And so this is going to cancel, and I'm going to be left with 600 plus 20p equals 800. Okay. And now it's just a little two-step. Here's my 20p right there. So I'm going to subtract my 600. And that's going to leave me with 20p is equal to 200. So now I'm going to divide by 20. And we're going to cancel those zeros. And 20 divided by 2 is equal to 10. So I think that when Coach Wright brings 10 people on his trip, that's the same as when Coach Swallow brings 10. So if I do 70 times 10, that's 700. 700 plus 600 is 1300. 50 times 10 is 500. 500 plus 800 is 1300. So that works because they would be equal. So I'm going to put they are equal with 10 people. Alrighty, those are my two problems for today. Y'all enjoy y'all's weekend, and I'll see y'all back here on Monday. And we're going to start working with solving systems by graphing. So we're going to be doing something different on Monday. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.